is Mimi Imfurst, and you're listening to Homorazzi.com.
So how was All Stars for you?
All Stars was a crazy experience. It's kind of insane because you think you know what you're going into, but in true RuPaul fashion, there's always a trick or two that they don't tell you about and throw your way and expect you to jump through hoops while wearing 6-inch heels.
Right. Now, did you how did you feel when you got the call? I mean, clearly you had to keep it quiet from everyone else. So for you, was it hard to keep it a secret? Were you really excited for it?
And they want who have been on RuPaul's Drag Race and want me on. There's certainly, I'm like so humbled and honored to be asked, but at the same time, you're like, are you sure? Because of all the drag queens from RuPaul's Drag Race, I would be lying to say that I was one of the fan favorites. I'm America's favorite, most hated drag queen, and so I'm definitely more notorious in that fashion. It was just an incredibly, it was an honor to really be chosen.
So what did it feel like when you walked into the workroom and you saw all the girls there? And more importantly, did you feel, were you excited to see everybody? How was your reaction to their reaction?
Well, I mean, walking into the workroom a second time is kind of surreal. It's it's deja vu, if you will. Mm-hmm. You're walking into the workroom and, it's familiar, but the players are all different. And, you see people that not only have you competed with, but people that, you experienced their experience as a fan. Mm-hmm. People who are from past seasons, these are people that I watched prior to being a participant. Once you become a participant of RuPaul's Drag Race, watching it becomes a very different experience, and you see the show very differently. It was kind of weird and surreal in some ways.
So when she dropped the bombshell, that it was going to be teams of 2, how did you feel at that point?
I was up for it, the thing is that, this time around, I think, even though you're still competing for, a huge cash prize and you're still, the stakes are high, at the same time, I think a lot of us felt similarly that we just kind of wanted to have fun, and so I was like, all right, whatever, certainly you have your people you would want to be paired up with, but out of all of the girls who were on the show, there's not anybody that I wouldn't want to have been paired up with. It would have just been, like making soup with different ingredients.
Right.
It's it still would be lovely, but but you definitely have your preferences.
Now, a lot of reality TV is created in the editing room. Do you guys think you and Pandora were represented well enough? Because everything that happened you guys did say, but the way they put it together, was that a good representation of how it went down? There's always truth in it. Sometimes the thing is with editing is that sometimes it can be more extreme than others, and I feel bad for Pandora in some ways because, she did, there was definitely resistance. She was a little, I think, shaken by the fact that she was partnered with me. But, she did come around a bit, and it was definitely a struggle, but they just made it look like she was just the whole time, sourpuss. And that wasn't exactly like that. And I get it. And I think it's really hard right now for Pandora because she's getting some negative flack for that, from fans of Drag Race. And I get it because I went through the same thing on season 3. They made me look just completely crazy 24/7, and is there an element of truth to me being a little bit bonkers? Of course. And I was aware of what I was doing. I was playing a character, so, but they chose only that, right.
and it can, I learned my lesson the first time around. It's hard because it's not fake. It's not 100% real. It's an entertainment program.
Yeah.
You're not watching a documentary, you're watching real life characters go through, basically the Hunger Games with wigs.
Yeah. So moving away from Drag Race, I want to talk a little bit about your project XELLE with those two lovely girls.
Yeah.
So you just released your newest single, Queen, correct?
Yes, we just released Queen, which is the title track off of our EP Queens, which also just was released as well.
And we saw all the girls, a lot of the girls in the video. How was it? How did that music video come about?
Sorry, I lost you there.
Oh,
I
that's
think
okay.
that Mimi I'm Cursed is coming back.
Oh no! We're gonna. I was gonna say we saw
I'm living in a war zone right now, just to where I live in the middle of the hurricane zone, and so I have not had electricity since Monday.
Oh, are you okay? Was everything? Other than
I'm fine. I'm fine. There was no zero damage to my property. We're literally just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for the electricity to come on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I was on the tour all of October, and so I was really looking forward to just having some time off and sitting at home and watching television for a few days. And it has been spent couch surfing and trying to find a place that has power to function in this world. And believe me, the irony is not lost that all I want to do is sit at home and watch Revolution. So it's very funny.
Yeah.
It's you're like, okay, is today going to be the day the power's going to come back on? Is today? No. Is today going to be the power? No. Today? No. We're hoping today. Like two streets down from my house is power.
Yeah.
But then like my whole neighborhood is still living in the dark ages, quite literally.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about XELLE. So so you guys are a girl group?
Yes, we're the first girl group, but one of the girls wasn't born a girl.
Oh.
A girl group with a twist. A girl group with something extra, if you will. We've been working on this album now for a year, and we're very excited to finally be able to release it to our fans because people have been asking for it. People have seen our live shows, have heard a lot of the songs. Mm-hmm. So they're like, well, when is that song going to be out? So we're happy to finally be able to release it. It's a really fun album full of, lots and lots of dance tracks. We wanted to create album that would kind of be a soundtrack for a perfect night out.
Yeah.
We very much sort of self-describe our genre as, mega pop, which to us is just, pop music that's turned up and amplified, and it's just a really fun album, and you should definitely get it on iTunes.
Awesome.